1965 to 1978, Project Serpo, Human Alien Exchange Program, Part 16. The following story is either the greatest kept secret of all time or a complete fraud. You decide. In this episode, we get some more information about some of the different alien races that have been visiting the planet Earth. This presentation is of the information posted on the website, serpo.org, from a retired senior government official. The website was intended to facilitate the gradual release of confidential documents pertaining to a top-secret exchange program of 12 U.S. military personnel to Serpo, a planet of Zeta Reticuli, between the years 1965 to 1978. Chapter 7. Alien Species. The 400 billion stars of the Milky Way, our galactic neighborhood, is just teeming with sentient life, regardless of what the control freaks state publicly. Ronald Reagan, presidentially debriefing information. There are different races or species visiting Earth at the same time. There are at least 5 different alien species visiting Earth. We think one of the species is very hostile. There are many parameters that we follow to evaluate the threat. However, we have little intelligence on 4 of the 5. We have plenty of information on the Ebens. They've given us everything we asked for. They have also helped us to understand the other 4 species. We have intelligence that would indicate this one species of aliens have abducted people from Earth. They have performed scientific and medical tests on these humans. To the best of our knowledge, no humans have been killed. The intelligence is from witnesses, and we haven't thoroughly evaluated this intelligence. We have captured one of these hostile aliens. We have war plans on all potential threats to our country. We have absolutely no evidence that this particular alien race has any plans to attack the United States of America or planet Earth. There is no way we can control visitors from outer space from traveling to Earth and visiting our planet. Some astronomers find it difficult to believe that these aliens can find Earth. We are on the outer reaches of our galaxy. Our sun is one of hundreds of thousands of such stars within our galactic neighborhood. But the Ebens found us, they found Earth, and we are not the only country on Earth that has been visited by the Ebens. Now, as for the other 4 species, we know they have visited us in the past and will visit us in the future. We are like a petri dish within the universe. We are a diverse planet. We must be very interesting to other aliens. I'm sure other intelligent life forms in the universe must have some sort of communications among the sentient life forms. Maybe they broadcasted that Earth has intelligent life. Maybe that is why we are being visited. There are many sightings all over the world. We must understand that the visitors can roam our planet at will without us doing much about it. However, I personally believe that we must prepare for the eventual day when some hostile life form decides to take over our planet. We are being visited today, now, in this time period. We know the difference between the Eben spacecraft and the hostile alien spacecraft. We call the hostile aliens simply that, HAV, meaning hostile alien visitors. MJ-12 placed that code on them back in the 1950s. The haves have been visiting us and kidnapping our people since the 1950s. We have some indication that they might have been doing this for some time. But we really have to consider all of the evidence listed in our reports and compare that to some of the open source information. There are always humans that will exaggerate and just tell lies compared to the real ones or the ones who were abducted and subjected to experiments. We have to sort through the differences and place some aside and look at the real evidence of abductions. But we can be sure that the Ebens have never done this. They are extremely peaceful and would not harm a living soul, including animals. The 5 species are called Ebens, archcloids, quadloids, heptaloids, and tranaloids. These names were given to the alien species by the intelligence community, specifically in J5. The Ebens are friendly. The tranaloids are the dangerous ones. We have a tranaloid, but it is dead. We captured it in 1961 in Canada. and we had it in captivity until 1962, when it died. The hostile alien species are responsible for abducting some humans. We can clearly prove some Native Americans were abducted from about 1955 until the present, the last known one in July of last year, 1980. We have a special military intelligence unit keeping track of these abductions. We have FBI agents attached to assist us when needed. We have NSA, and in some instances, CIA personnel helping. Unfortunately, we don't have the technology to know when these hostiles will abduct. We get the information afterwards. We interview the victim and place them under hypnotic trances. Some of the victims remember the entire event without hypnosis, while others need hypnosis to relate what happened. We haven't found one single death directly related to the hostile aliens. We have had deaths that were attributed to the abductions, suicides. We recorded 5 of them. But these are the abductions we know about. We have no idea how many other abductions are occurring in this country or around the world. These hostile aliens are pretty sneaky. They seem to appear and disappear, which is beyond our technical understanding. They also seem to float or defy gravity. We have actual photographs of them doing this. We have a classic abduction incident that was recorded by military intelligence personnel. It happened in 1979 near a military base in New Mexico. We know which planet the Trandeloids come from. The Ebens gave us that information. We know the star group. It is close to our solar system. Well, I mean, in astronomical terms, maybe 20 to 25 light years away. They are actually closer to us than the Ebens are. The homeworld of the H80, the Trandeloids, is the 3rd planet out from the star Epsilon Eridani in the constellation Eridanus, at 10.5 light years away. Although somewhat cooler and fainter than our Sun, it is very similar. Epsilon Eridani is located in the celestial river, where it flows south to Acherna. It is fully visible to almost all of the southern hemisphere and half of the northern. A planet has been found orbiting a Sun-like star, only 10.5 light years away, with a magnitude of 3.7. No direct picture of the planet was taken. The planet was discovered by the gravitational wobble it created on its parent star, Epsilon Eridani. The discovery marks the closest naked-eye, Sun-like star yet found to house an extrasolar planet. The star Epsilon Eridani, located in the constellation Eridanus, is visible near the belt of Orion to the unaided eye when it is highest in the sky 10 p.m. between November and January. The detected planet is thought to have a mass like Jupiter, but orbits slightly closer in. It is unknown whether other planets exist around Epsilon Eridani. They can travel in the same fashion as the Ebens. However, according to the Ebens, the Trandeloids use a different form of propulsion, something like matter versus antimatter. We know that when matter is placed next to antimatter, there is a great deal of energy released. If one could harness that into a propulsion system, that would be great. But we don't have the capability to do that. We have one of their spaceships that crashed, but we do not have the ability to understand it. Their technology is probably 1,000 years more advanced than ours, maybe even more. They have different materials to work with. Some of their materials are not found on this planet. We found many metals and other things that are not found on this planet. Maybe they have more than 104 elements, or maybe they are different than ours. That goes for each species, although the Ebens do have similar elements as those found on Earth. But the Trandeloids have strange materials, nothing like those found on Earth. These aliens can imitate humans. They can look like blonde humans. However, they are not blonde, but ugly-looking insects. They are pretty nasty-looking. They have the ability to change their bodies. They are 1,000s of years ahead of us in technology and probably every other science. But they are just flesh and blood, like a human body. They can be killed, but their spaceships have a force field around them. They can be shot down, but it takes some doing on our part. We have to use a small-style nuclear missile to shoot them down, but we haven't actually done that yet. We have experimented in Nevada on the captured craft we have of theirs. We haven't used any nuclear missiles to shoot down any alien flying craft, but we could if we had to shoot one down. For instance, if a group of them attacked us. But that is not likely. We know, or we can recognize their language, which is entirely different than the Ebans. They use a very high-band radio system, but they have different frequencies, and it is difficult for the NSA to track them. Our air defenses are as best prepared as we can be against any form of an attack by this group. We have a system to cover any threat, and we do have war plans just for this event or possible event. Source: Serpo.org via Maurice Osborne. My take: I would love to find out as much as possible about all the different alien species visiting us or not. This is the most interesting part about the whole UFO phenomenon.
Don't forget to sign up for our Patreon page. Members get early access to videos, ad-free, and you can see content you can't see anywhere else.